Hey guys, Kilo. So, I'm going to talk about the cross ankle release. Sometimes the acronym is known as CAR. I've also heard it called Layback as well. So, depending on your terminology, it can differ. So, when it comes to this move, it is an inner thigh lock, but your knees, your glutes, your hips all play a factor in this move. Okay? I'm going to go into a pole sit with straight legs, and I'm going to pull up into it. Okay. You'll notice that I'm thinking about having my knees kind of stacked on each other and really squeezing my thighs. When I'm ready to go back, I'm going to slowly start leaning back, and I'm going to think about pushing as if my knees are trying to go into the pole. Okay? Slowly walk my hands down, and I can put my hands behind to help. Once I feel a good lock, I'm going to actually imagine pushing my toes, my heels down, okay? And that makes my hips lift up. When I'm ready to come back, you notice that I bring my knees up as I lift my chest up, okay? So if my chest is down, I'm pushing my heels down. And I start lifting my chest up, I push my knees up to help me get back up. Now, everyone's a little bit different when it comes to this move. Depending on your thighs, you may not have to, let me rephrase that. Depending on your thighs, sometimes you're going to have to internally rotate your knees to kind of get a better lock in your thighs, okay? And what I mean by that is, as I'm standing here, turn your knees inward, okay? So mine are stacked like this. You may have to turn them in like that to help you lock, okay? So it's kind of hard to do this depending on angles. Okay. So one thing I tell students is practice with your sit and learning to turn the knees in. Okay. See how mine are stacked? Sometimes you have to turn them in. So here's the top of my knee. And see how I'm turning my knees inward. Okay. And it changes my lock. So if I keep that as I try to go down, that may help your lock. Okay. So think about turning them in. See how I just turned my knees inward more to help me with my lock. Okay. And like I said, as soon as I went, I pushed my pelvis up toward the ceiling. So pelvis went up, heels went down, and I actually kind of engaged my lower back to help with the lock. So causing me to push my hips up to the ceiling actually gave me more of a secure lock in my inner thighs. Just make sure, for safety, if you're trying to get used to this, do this low, from a low sit, maybe about here. So that way, if you come here and you're just like, oh crap, chin the chest, find your shoulders when you slowly start releasing so you can slide out. And because I'm low enough, I unhooked because I'm pushing on my shoulders onto the floor. So I was able to unhook and I can direct myself off. Okay? So always do it low for safety. If you have someone that can spot you, okay? Imagine that I'm sitting here, okay? My butt's here, my feet's here. Have someone hand under your hips, right underneath here, okay? And another person in their opposite hand is going to kind of push a little bit toward the shins, okay? So if I'm here, my hand is underneath the hip. My opposite hand is going to go on your shins near your ankles so I can give you a push and a push down and a push up, okay? So I can kind of give you that little bit of balance, all right? So if you need to come out of the move, they can push your feet down real quick and push your hips up so they can bring you back up. Okay? So just kind of hit me up, let me know. And if you're ever nervous, like I said, super low. And your safety out is either coming back up, pulling yourself up, which is really difficult. If you're low enough, remember, chin the chest until your shoulders hit the floor. And kind of push your shoulders. Think about bringing that pelvis a little bit towards you so you can get your feet off. Okay? Or just enough where you can slide completely down. All right? If you're ever nervous, ask for a spot. If you don't have a spot, pillow fortress is what I called, but safety first. You know yourself, you know your pole, you know your environment. Always be safe, guys.